Hello everyone, welcome back to CarCasts with myself, Garry Whitney, and star driver Mr. Stephen Waugh. And fresh from the Border Counties rally where summer arrived, and as did bad luck for myself in the little Fiesta R2T with some sort of a gearbox gremlin of all things that's cropped up, which we don't know yet what the situation is, but
still a mystery.
Still a mystery. No gears. A couple of miles into the last stage of the rally. It shows how cruel this sport can be, the ups and the downs. 2024 season, huge change from last year for yourself, and let's just have a bit of a look back and see how it's all kicked off thus far. Probably fair to say that the first challenge was a trip to Poland.
Trip to Poland, yeah. It's further than you'd think. By road, yeah. Me and Carl. It was a good crack, the trip out. It was just a laugh, excitement of getting there, and when we get there, having a bit of a nosy round and getting the car, and it was good fun. The road trip. Drive back was long because it was non-stop. Then we didn't.
Yeah, a bit nerve-wracking having a Rally 3 Fiesta in the back of a trailer in a foreign country, I'm sure. And as we said, the deal for 2024 was very, very late in the organisation, and it was a difficult deal to do, and it's a huge step up from where we were last year in terms of equipment, and getting hold of these things and securing the asset for a season like this is incredibly difficult and quite very complicated. But after your trip to Poland, it was exciting to see it roll out the back of the trailer, and a few hairs on the back of the neck stood up, and it must have been a great feeling.
Yeah, I think when I got there and sat in the car first, it felt like a big step up in the car. Even just not going out driving it just felt in the cockpit just seemed very. It just felt like one of the big boys' cars. It was a lot. Yeah, just more to it. It was exciting. So I think the first day up at the test day with it didn't know what to expect. Really, I was a bit excited but nervous at the same time going out. But as soon as we went round and did the first couple of laps in it, it was.
I think I was probably more nervous than anybody because it seems like only yesterday that we were just climbing in and out of the Honda for the first time, and having that feeling then that we might have something special in our hands, and we might have somebody that has got the ability to compete at the highest level. And it's one thing saying that, and to take this 2-year journey so far and get into the third season, and like you say, you're getting into a piece of machinery now that is not for the fun and games. It's a serious piece of kit, professionally built by the boys, and driving one of those type vehicles competitively is a whole different ball game. So there's a huge release of emotions for myself getting out of the car after the first 2 or 3 laps, mixture of relief and obviously excitement that it fit like a glove, and you were right at home in the car straight away.
I know it's a big step up in the car and there's still lots to learn with it, but for driving it, for me, it feels really at home. It's like I got feeling at home in the R2 with last year, but I think, I don't know, it just feels very natural in there. It's very comfortable. It just fits me. I love it. It's great being in it.
I think
me.
I always felt that 4-wheel drive was going to be the forte for you, and you were probably going to fit into a 4-wheel drive car a little bit more comfortably and quicker than a 2-wheel drive. And we saw that on the test, and then of course, as we do for most pre-season, we'll do an event, and that took us to the Malcolm Wilson Rally for non-BRC round this year, but great event. And you got in the car with Carl, of course, for the first time as well, in the Rally 3, and went and did that event just as a test, no pressure, and the results were fantastic, and the feedback you got from a lot of the professional side guys was very, very good.
Yeah, no, it was good, and I enjoyed those stages up there. It was nice to do it this year with no other things going on to mess it up, like the snow and the ice and things. It was nice just to go and enjoy those stages, and with that car as well, it was great. I had brilliant fun. No pressure, no championship. It was just a rally, just to go and learn it, and didn't worry about the times. We just had a blast going around.
So what about, tell us a bit about the biggest differences then from the R2 stepping into the R3.
There's lots of things, even like in the car, little things like the gear change in it. It's a lot different to the R2. Changes so much nicer. You've got lots more power. I like when we can turn it into a corner, and with the R2T where you turn it in and it's just pure momentum that's keeping you sideways, and if you lose that then the front washes across and things. I just feel like you can really set it in this with being four-wheel drive, and you can power through the corner, you can get on your power and drag through. It's a different driving style in it, and yeah, the suspension's really good in it. It's just a really good package. I love it.
So do you think your history as a teenager in the drifting in Ireland is something that leans towards the drivability of these four-wheel drive cars?
I would say so. It's a different driving style. Driving these sideways as opposed to drifting sideways is a bit different, but I think off the bat jumping into the four-wheel drive, anyone else maybe would take a bit of getting used to the feeling of throwing it in sideways and things, but throwing it in sideways, it's quite comfortable. There's no scared or anything like that. It's like, you can power through, you can really get a nice feeling for sliding the car. Yeah, it's very enjoyable. Good
stuff. And it was a great result as well.
Yeah, it was good.
Despite the fact we weren't really chasing the times, and it was more of just a feeling for the car, etc. You got some great feedback from people in the trade and in the industry that said you'd done very well.
Yeah, like a few of the bigger names in British rallying that I would know from working as a mechanic with them got in touch saying that they were really impressed to see the times. I hadn't really paid any attention to them, but like they'd said that they'd been watching, or they'd seen my stages and times, and thought they were good and consistent. And it's all positive to hear.
Another event without a scratch, in fairness, and
kept all the mirrors on.
Kept all the mirrors on, and then of course we had the sort of mad dash to get the car in livery just 1 week between the Malcolm Wilson rally and having to be back here for the launch and the media side, and the guys at M Sport were kind enough to let us keep the car up there, and guys at AST did a great job with the print, and I must say the car looked awesome when it came back.
Yeah, I think
pre-shoot.
Livery wise, I think you did a great job designing it. I think it looks mega.
Much.
Little plug for you. But yeah, M Sport, Kieran at M Sport taking it across for us. He did all the nitty gritty, taking bits off and prepping it for them, and for them to do that for us, it was a big help in it.
Yeah,
like you say, with the timeline that we had, it was a blessing.
And very, very strange seeing your car being wrapped in what we call Rally Bay 1 would be right, in the WRC bays in M Sport, where some of the most iconic cars in the sport have been prepped and wrapped, and it's great to see a Fleet Smart car in there with your name on the glass.
Exactly. When they said they'd do it, I kind of expected it to get done in the back truck workshop or the dark corner of the workshop somewhere, and then Kieran sent that time-lapse video over of it, and it was quite special to see it in the M1 bay where I would have been building cars for Auger or the top cars, to see the car for me in there getting done. It was really nice to see that.
Bit of a pinch, So typically, yesterday the summer arrived at the border counters and created the dust, and we're about to see the aftermath now with the thunder and lightning that's about to kick off outside. So you have to excuse us if there's a bit of a rumble in the jungle. But so back home then in the new livery, did the media launch, which was great fun to shoot. And that got some great reaction from BRC boys when they posted that. Yeah,
I think the whole livery reveal from walking in with you guys to see the white horse on the spoiler was another special moment to see that. And then that whole night of filming it was great. Doing the launches, and I think it came together to be a really, really good media launch for the car. A lot of people seeing it.
So just touch on what's the relevance of the white horse then, just for everybody at home?
So my granddad with his rally, and that was the main sponsor for him. It was the iconic White Horse Whiskey Avenger. I think, speaking to people over the years, I think he was one of the first drivers of the time to get, like in British rallying anyway, to get a fully back drive like that with the Works Chrysler. So I think around that time the White Horse was quite iconic, and then growing up for me there was bits of White Horse memorabilia lying about, little bits and pieces and things, but it's always been something that's would have linked I'd always think of Grandad's rallying with White Horse. So yeah, to have that little logo on the car, it's
nice,
really special.
Nice little nod to Grandad.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. So then it was in tarmac and the first round of the BRC.
Yeah.
Another all-new four-wheel drive tarmac. Damp conditions, not great. And of course Carl had to miss that one, so we had Adam step into the beach for that one. Did a great job, and again you were out there just as a test really to get a feel for the new car. But how did that go?
Yeah, I think, like you said, tarmac for the first time on tarmac since Ulster last year, so there's that one to go back to. And then Carl was already committed to sit with another driver, so we didn't have Carl for the rally. And then bearing the championship in mind, it was worth going just to make sure we got on the board and got what we could from the event. So Adam stepped in, and never having sat with Adam before, never working together, there was another unknown in the whole mix. And four-wheel drive to learn at the same time. But I think I was quite chilled about it. We were all right. We were on Pirellis as well, the tyres this time, so that was a little bit of a confidence boost for me anyway. I was quite happy that we were on the right tyres and things. And then 5-10 minutes before we went out, and the torrential hail fell down. And
in fairness, Pirelli did say that their tyre was good in damp conditions, and that turned out to be the case, didn't it?
Yeah.
So fair play to that one. I remember we went out to watch the stage on your first stage out, and got slightly lost. Had to come back down against rally traffic, and all we can hear was just popping and banging and down this public road with a corner in front of us, and what came around the corner but a Rally 3 Fiesta squirming away and warming up the tyres. So that was quite funny to see with the sponsors in the car, and this isn't actually the stage. He's just warming his tyres, and so that was quite good to see. But another great event really. Again, ticked a lot of boxes for us. It got that tarmac mileage under the belt that we needed. We missed the Rally Ceredigion last year, of course, because of the Ulster accidents, and in hindsight it was vital mileage that you need. And this car is a completely different beast on tarmac as well, so to get a nice clean event and just get a feel for it just sets us up for the next one really, where Carl's back with us, and we'll have a proper go. Yeah, definitely. I think the event had mixed conditions, cuts, rain, mud, all that, so to have a clean run round was good. There was plenty of reminders throughout the day of how hard it can bite. Even stage one, meeting Kyle halfway through, stopping the stage, and he'd had an off, and plenty of others had bad luck that day, so it was a reminder that it can bite you back, and it goes to get a clean rally out of it. Like anything with these sorts of tarmac events in these lanes, there's nowhere to go, and so there's quite a lot of damage on a lot of those cars coming out that had the off, and some of them barely had a wheel left on them, and it can be very, very difficult. And so to come through again, you did exactly what we asked you to do, and just bring it home and get the mileage. So that's the all important thing. So fingers crossed we'll get a dry run at the Jim Clark, and everything will be good. So then of course second round BRC, Rally Nuts, and back onto the gravel with Carl on board this time. And how did that go? I think going back to gravel was like a bit of a relief. It's going back onto the surface that I'm most comfortable with. I love it there. We'd done Rally Nuts a couple of years ago in the Honda, and I remember enjoying the stages that rally as well. Doing that, and then we with the BRC we've got the recce. So with Carl back making our notes from scratch. It was the unknown again, but it's another step that we had to take. So the recce went well. It was good having Carl's knowledge there to guide me, teach me how to make these notes. So we had a really good recce, and it was good. We went into the first stage, and I just put it in my head that I've made these notes. I think they're good. He thinks they're good. We'll commit to those notes. And the first stage I drove and really committed to the notes that I'd made, and then I felt happy then. But going into stage 2 and 3, there was a lot of fog, and I straight away when I hit the fog, you couldn't see any distance in front, and I could see myself that my driving style had gone to way more cautious again. Typical Wales weather,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So the notes thing then, just to touch on, prior to that you would use pace notes that are made by somebody else,
Yeah.
essentially, and you'd
We'd
check
get
through those notes,
Exactly,
make your
yeah.
own adjustments and amendments. But this time, as for the first time, you start from scratch, blank piece of paper, SS1, start line, off you go. That must be quite difficult.
Yeah. So like you say, we would have bought the pre-made notes before, and even when we did the recce, we'd drive the recce stages off those notes and just tailor them to us a little bit, but the core of the notes were the generic ones. So yeah, starting with a blank sheet of paper at the SS1 start line was a bit daunting, like doing a recce that you've never done like this. It was, but you know, a little bit in, we were fine, we were settling in. It was a bit of a, normally you do like your stage, then you loop to another one, but I think because sections of each stage we used, or sections of some stages we used in other stages, it was all a bit bitty. But yeah, no, Carl kept us spot on with that as well, and just focused on it. But no, it was.
So it's a big difference having with Carl on board with his. I mean, I can't even imagine how many rallies that Carl does in a season, but because he sits with numerous drivers, and in the Isle of Man this weekend with former British champion Mark Higgins, and doing incredibly well out there in the TR7, the historic TR7, setting some unbelievable times really against machinery that he really shouldn't be competing against. But just shows the level that Carl is at in terms of his profession, and having Carl next to you to build these sorts of notes and give you that sort of training and experience is priceless, really.
Yeah, no, it's like you say, he still does sit with so many people. He's still the top co-driver. He's done, I don't know how many rallies he'll have done in the past, various championships around the world, but he's always sat with like big names, and he's got so much experience. Knowing he's there with me, and just doesn't, never a drama, never worry. Anything you want, you can bounce off Carl, and it's just such
Keeps
a wealth
it
of
calm.
experience, and that filters in.
Yeah, so back after a short break because the UK weather's doing its thing with the thunderstorm and the rain, and yeah, just as you can probably imagine, we're sat here in the workshop here at Fleet Smart, and as the base for where Stephen's working and myself is working, and their key sponsors, and of course obviously we've got Filter Smart and CDP partnerships on Pirelli, all sort of supporting this year. So yeah, lots going on in Fleet Smart as well. It's been a very, very busy 6 months with everything, with the rallying and Fleet Smart's development. So huge expansions here, lots going on with new equipment, and there's some exciting prospects for the future for the company, which is great. Yeah. Great to be promoting both at the same time through motorsport as a media avenue. So it's been great. We're very, very lucky. So yeah, back to rally notes, of course, on your experiences with Carl and your own pace notes, and tell us how you felt the first few stages went with the weather. I know you said already about the fog, but when things had settled down, you're happy with the notes. Yeah,
like even straight off the bat, stage one, I was happy with the notes. It was really good. I felt uber confident going into stage two, and then it was just when we hit that wall of fog, it just like kicked my confidence right out the door. So we're back to just because I couldn't see we were calling distances into 4s and 5s that tightened. It just committing to stuff like that, I couldn't commit to it. And
it's difficult circumstances for the first time you've used your own notes. Fog is probably one of the worst things you can encounter, other than the dust, of course. In terms of a live stage, it's quite hard to explain to people how distances, in the speeds that you're travelling, the distances are so short.
I think if more time, maybe the distances would be. I could have more confidence in the distance that we're covering in the fog or those type of situations. But I know in the past we've had buttons on the steering wheel when we were as a mechanic at M Sport, and we set it up to click it for the fog, and it put a trip meter thing on the driver's dash for things like that. So it's obviously not just me. But
no such weaponry on this.
Not them luxuries, but once we got past the fog, it was back to feeling at home and just getting comfortable playing with it.
Yeah,
And
I remember as well again with the I was in the car with the sponsors and the VIPs, etc. And when the first couple of stage times came out, there was again another mixed emotion of sort of release with the performance, because the stage times were absolutely fantastic, and almost a little bit of a disbelief, because you were really mixing it with cars in the next category up, and you were beating some of those cars which we didn't really, it wasn't on the agenda. We didn't expect that. And then having seen you, we spectated I think on the second stage of the day, and seeing how smooth and relaxed and you were drifting through the stages and the junctions, it was great to see. You know, and you could tell you were just, you know, very, very comfortable and at home. There was nothing wild about what you could see. And that whole adage of not chasing the stopwatch, just concentrating on the 100 metres in front of you and getting the apexes right and the entries right and the exits right, it's definitely the right attitude to take. And it got a great result at the end of the day. Yeah,
no, it's good. It's good to see that the times are decent even now. But it's confidence filling for me, seeing them, knowing that there's still more to give. Yeah, like I'm not on the ragged edge sort of thing. You know, and even throughout the day, Carl's very switched on with setup and things like that. So we tried a few different things there, and just little things like on long corners, we noticed that I was having to give it like a second turn in sort of thing just to bring the nose back in, and Carl played around with some damper clicks and things, and it helped dial that out. So even these little steps are helping to do confidence, speed, all that. It's good. So fog aside, I thoroughly enjoyed the event. Rally Nuts. I think it was a good result.
No, it was a fantastic result. You know, I think in the BRC we were something like 12th overall.
Yeah.
On a very competitive field, lots of competitors. You know, the actual rally had a reserve list because the entry list was so big.
Yeah.
And you know, there were a lot of quick drivers out there, and you know, some didn't make it through the day because of one error or another, or mechanical problem. But to sit in there and to be mixing it in with the guys that were, you know, fighting for the top 10 place. When we're not even really pushing on was incredibly encouraging. Yeah, it was great. Again, apologies guys for the audio. Mother Nature's doing a thing, so we're going to bring this to a wrap quite shortly. But I just want to touch on the Jim Clark rally. Class win last year in the R2T.
Yeah.
Stages you've done before. A brilliant event. The atmosphere up there was absolutely superb. You must be looking forward to this one.
Yeah, looking forward to Jim Clark, like you say, with class win last year. The atmosphere was great, the weather was good. It was a good weekend last year, so yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've got the shakedown before it, so that'll be good just to get my bum back in the seat and used to it.
Some setup work,
yeah, and then a few more stages on the Friday night this year than last, but it's fine. We seem to do all right in the dark, so we'll enjoy those. It's a bit longer mileage rally, but yeah.
And unbelievably, that'll bring us to the middle of the season. And then we've got a last second half to look forward to.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Excellent. All right, guys. So we'll call that a wrap, and Mother Nature's done her thing.